Hey, this is for my fellow 4AGE owners that have a Toyota or any Toyota that has a crankshaft pulley that needs a special tool, the special service tool from Toyota that's very expensive and that doesn't fit necessarily on aftermarket pulleys. I found a cheap way of doing it, and that is creating your own tool. So what you do is you get some really hard wood. I chose oak. Got this at Home Depot for like 13 bucks. 2 feet in length is perfect. That's all you need. And then just using a hole saw, just went through, made a hole that's big enough for my socket and big enough for the nut in the middle to go through. And then an issue that I kept having was that I kept bending these M8 bolts. And so the solution that I had is you put some metal washers around the bolts so that way it can spin. Then you put nuts here to reinforce it. And this, you just put, for me, about 4 nuts was perfect. And you bolt it down. I cut this top area so that way it doesn't catch on the frame. I don't have a standard engine in my car, so I had to kind of cut it a little bit here. But ultimately you can see where it mounts circularly to the crank pulley around. And when this thing presses up against that pulley and these nuts kind of come up against the crank pulley as well, it's not going anywhere. And it really has the strength to hold. This thing is solid, super solid. And then the other added benefit is that you can use the other side to hold the axle. So when you're tightening down the axle nuts, same idea. Use the hole saw to make a big hole in the middle. And then I put two lug nut size holes here, and then these 2 ones I just made wider so that way I can fit it just right. I'll show you how it's going to work. I already tightened one of the axle nuts, and I'm going to tighten the other one. So this is how you do the axle nut. We're going to use the same tool. If we're tightening this way, we want it to kind of catch the ground on going this way. So just kind of fit it on there. Now you can do this a number of ways. You can tighten it down with the nuts. But for me, I made it nice and tight. Just kind of get it there. Have it so that way it crams up against the ground. And then you can, if your car is lower, I have mine sitting a little high right now, so normally it would go into the concrete better. But here I kind of use my foot also to kind of press up against it. So you just tighten it. Back on. Then pre-tighten this side. There we go. And just as information, it's 137 foot-pounds for this side. There it is. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. You can make yourself a tool for pretty much nothing. And it works really well. You can use it for both doing axle nuts and also for doing the crank pulley. Because I tried making a bunch of different crank pulley ones that I saw online, and boy, they really sucked, and they'd break and had no strength. This thing is really tough. I mean, crank pulley, no problem. This wood is, you know, they don't call it hardwood for nothing. Alrighty, good luck.